Hello, I'm Lynne Durham. I'm a certified life coach. And since experiencing my own burnout and overwhelm, leaving my six-figure management career uncharacteristically in tears, I have been passionate about preventing others from going through the same overwhelm and burnout. Have you ever asked yourself why you question a lot of what you do? First, I want you to imagine if it was easy. What if there was an easy way to stop questioning and doubting most of what you do? And if you want to play along, I'd love you to think of one major question that comes up. Maybe it's already popped into your head when I mentioned the questioning and self-doubt. And I want you to write that down. Just pause and write that down. Or you can try and remember it for later. And today I'm going to share with you three of the steps that I take my clients through so they get to stop questioning and doubting most of what they do. I have found the simplest way to explain it is that when we're born and we need to survive, we cry when we need something. And that is when something isn't right, we seek a solution. And then when we don't need anything, we just kind of swan around, just playing, existing, life ticks along. And because we're wired this way to survive, we are overly attentive to what might go wrong. Now, I fully support paying attention to what is going wrong and fixing it, of course. And I also support being fully aware and to know that we're safe. Safety is always number one. Problems happen when our mismanaged mind runs amok. Our unaware thoughts are basically like a toddler in a china shop running around smashing stuff and totally oblivious and not aware of much of what's going on because they're just having fun. I mean, fun's a different terminology, right? If you own the china shop, not fun. So research tells us that we think on average 70,000 thoughts every day. So imagine questioning even half of those. And that's what apparently we are about 35,000 of our thoughts every day are semi-conscious decisions. And even imagine questioning only half of those. That's about 17,000 thoughts and doubts and questions and worries. Brain science tells us that our brain uses more energy than any other human organ. And so we are using a lot of potentially unnecessary energy by questioning and doubting all of our decisions. It's no wonder that we're often exhausted. Now, some of those 70,000 thoughts every day are on autopilot, and that works for some things. Like, we don't want to have to think about the muscles we need to use to pick up a pen and write. I don't want to think about that. I just want that on autopilot. It's when we have the ones that are on autopilot that are not doing us any good. They're the ones that we need to become aware of. And step one to shifting from questioning is awareness. It involves simply noticing our thoughts, the ones we have on repeat. A belief is a thought that we've had so often, repeat, that we think it's true. This way to stop questioning and doubting our thoughts and to save our energy is to become aware. Now, the simplest method of becoming aware is to talk to a coach, because a coach will reflect back to you what you're thinking, because when we're thinking something, we don't realize it. As I said, they're on default, like writing with a pen. So a coach will be able to reflect back to you your thought, and you'll actually hear it for the first time in a different way, and you'll notice it. And then once you learn that you've got a thought, then you get to go around in your daily life and really notice it. So that's when it comes to coaching, and my clients get to spend an hour each week focusing on their life and their thoughts. And just like one of my clients, Peter, who got to identify a limiting thought, Peter came to coaching because she was tired of feeling like she couldn't get off her hamster wheel of work at work and then work at home. Peter identified, or between coaching sessions, she identified her predominant thought was, I have to do it all. It's all up to me. And when I pointed out to her, because she said that to me, well, it's all up to me. I have to do it. And when I pointed that out to her, she realized that it's not necessarily true. And then it seems like such often, all the time, they seem like such innocent thoughts. When you filter out all of your other thoughts through that one predominant one, in her case, it's all up to me, then you can see where this is leading. Peter felt she had to do it all. She felt that everything was up to her, and then when things went wrong, that was up to her, and when things didn't happen, it was up to her. It was all up to her. So her first step was to become aware, and each time there was something to do or a decision to make, she got to notice whenever the thought appeared, it's all up to me. And then I teach a few other tools to use so that you can actually identify the thoughts. And, we can't go into all that now, but just the step one, identify your thoughts. Because when you identify them, then you get to learn from them. Then you get to learn from exactly what it is you're thinking. So Peter is now able to release the control, release the thought that it's all up to her, because she's realized it's not. And now occasionally when she has to work long hours, she realizes it's her choice, because there are certain times when you have a project and you want to get it finished, so you choose to put the time in. And then there's other times when you just let it go. But the thing is, now it's up to her. She's not being a victim to her circumstances, or she's not feeling a victim to her circumstances. So that's awareness. Working with a coach brings that awareness to you. I don't think I would have ever noticed my limiting thoughts if I hadn't been working with a coach. And I'm happy to boil them with you if you get on the phone with me one day. I can let you know what they are. Very boring. So step 2 that I'm going to talk about today is about feeling our feelings. To stop questioning 99% of everything we do, we've got to check in with how we feel. And my husband Paul likes to joke that men don't have feelings. And I actually responded with, well, most people aren't connected to their feelings. We live our lives being taught not to feel. As small children, we're taught not to cry. We're taught not to laugh out loud because it might be the wrong time, the wrong place, or embarrass someone. We're taught lots of sort of basically shutting down feelings as we're children because it's appropriate or inappropriate. And most of what we do is to either move towards a feeling or to move away from it. So we want to move towards feeling happy. Well, we want to move away from feeling sad. We want to move towards feeling confident. We want to move away from feeling afraid. We want to move towards feeling successful. We want to move away at all costs from feeling failure. Basically, we do want to feel comfortable and we don't want to feel uncomfortable, which all kind of sounds pretty logical. But when it's driving what we do, then, and without us paying attention to it, that's when it goes kind of off the deep end. And ironically, avoiding feelings is what's stopping us from moving on. So it's no wonder, as I said, we are taught that as children. So like another client, Tina, who came to me because she thought she'd just give coaching a go. She didn't think she needed coaching because nobody needs coaching. It's just helpful. So Tina was surprised when she soon identified that she had a massive fear of failure and it was blocking her success. And her fear led to her questioning everything, not just trusting her decisions, not just questioning her decisions, but everything. Her fear of failure was debilitating. And Tina learned how to safely feel her feelings. She got connected with her feelings and learned how to process them and learned the results she was getting from them and was able to trust her choices. Being able to feel her fear in a safe space of the coaching sessions allowed Tina to move through her discomfort. And that taught her the world wouldn't end when she felt fear if something failed. And she's now able to process her emotions. So the last step I'm going to share with you today to stop questioning and doubt is a really quick one, and it's evaluating. When we learn from our actions and from our inactions, we get to find out what worked. We get to find out what didn't work. And then we get to apply our learnings to do things differently next time. Most of what we do is on repeat. When we learn from what we have done, we can change our actions moving forward. Evaluating creates knowledge on what to do next time. So when we learn to manage our thoughts, our feelings, and evaluate our outcomes, each decision doesn't need questioning. They will either be the right one or something to learn from and grow, something to do differently next time. It really is pretty amazing. And don't get me wrong, I may be making this sound simple, and that's because it is. It's just not easy. So I spent half of my life not knowing this stuff. And even though I've been learning personal development for many years, over 20 years. So I have a lot of tools. I have all the tools in my tool belt, and I happily share them with my clients. It's not about the tools, it's about the work. So if you know someone who is looking for a solution, I offer a free 1-hour consultation. And I will take you through a process where you will talk about your life and I will listen. And through the process, I will be able to let you know what thought is keeping you stuck on repeat. And I'll let you know the steps to change it. And if we're a fit, you can ask about coaching together. So I'd love you to check in with that question that you were doubting and ask yourself, which of these three steps will help you to move past the questioning that you're continually doing? I love helping my clients enjoy new beginnings in their lives. That's why I use a water lily as my logo. It represents beginnings in the form of hope and rebirth and wellness. And I work with professional service industry achievers. They're busy ensuring their clients are well taken care of. And all too often, all too frequently, they are not taking enough care of themselves. I love helping my clients to discover how to put on their own oxygen mask. So in doing so, they find not what they expect, which is that they're not going to be able to do everything for everyone else like they're doing at the moment, but they actually find that they're able to do more because they're coming from such a full place. So as I finish up, I'd love you to check in with the question you wrote down earlier. Which of these three steps will you move past the constant self-doubt and move into empowered decision making? This is possible to do on your own, absolutely. I certainly couldn't do it on my own. And if you don't want to do it on your own either, then give me a call and we can make a time to get together. Thanks.